Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Steve. This is my story. Okay, so what I'm about to tell you guys is a story that is not, it's scary to me, but it's something where it went on for a long time, and then it's a it's a thing where the fear I let go of the fear because of how scary it was. I was able to overcome fear because I got to know what fear is from this situation. And basically, it was just after my grandfather passed away. Uh, I ended up coming back down to LA at where my grandfather used to live at, and I ended up just staying there for the for the next 2 years, going to barbering school. So I could recall one night where it started, where I was there by myself. I had woke up from a bad dream. It was like maybe midnight or something like that, and I ended up waking up to a ticking sound. It was going tick 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 tick, tick. And it happened to be the stove that my grandmother had, and I smelled gas, so I got up and I ended up going to the kitchen, and I got scared at first because I didn't know who was in the house, but I had everything locked. So when I went to go turn it off, like I got, really, I felt sick because there was so much gas in the house. So I turned it off and I opened all the doors, I turned on all the lights, and ended up going to the restroom to just throw water on my face. Right before I did that, I had a bunch of like static, it felt like something was touching my face, but there wasn't anything there. So when I was touching my face, I felt like it felt static, and I was reaching for the faucet, and it shocked me. So after that situation happened, like I said, no, I gotta stop. I gotta just pray to God and start saying some prayers, and then I looked at myself in the mirror and I started seeing my face morph a little bit. It was like it was just changing. So I could see like wrinkles. Uh, it was like somebody was kind of doing this to me, you know, and it looked like an old person. So I'm assuming that it was my grandfather just coming in and trying to either take me away or something, because of what I heard was, what was going on was the stove was on and the gas was leaking. So I don't know if that was a sign for him to, you know, to do something to me. And it just made sense because he had just passed. And I moved into the house so I could take care of my grandmother. But then my grandmother ended up moving in with my mom, and I was taking care of the house while I was going to school. So that first night that I slept, that's what happened. So it just made sense that it was more than likely him. So this went on for the next, I would say, year and a half, I think. So shortly after that, a couple nights go by, another situation happened where I had some friends over, and we were talking about my grandfather passing and their deceased, family members. And when that happened, the lights started flickering off and on. That was another situation. So from there, like I said, there was another night where after that situation happened, I ended up being with a couple friends of mine, and we ended up talking about death and having people come back, or having things happen after someone dies, and wondering if it's them or not. And then it happened again, so the lights start flickering off and on, and then the door crept, it just opened and closed, and that's when they all got out. Like, forget this, I'm out. So after that, that was the second night, or no, that was a couple days after. So then when that happened, they didn't come back anymore. My friend said, you know what, we don't want to deal with paranormal stuff. Like they were spooked already. So I started to be there by myself a lot more. Friends really didn't want to come around anymore. And then I was dating, so then I had another situation where I had a female come over, and I guess when we talking about the same situation about death and all that, and then something gets knocked over the counter. It just falls over. Like if somebody slapped. It was like a little ornament on the dresser. So when she saw that, she's like, "Oh, she got scared, and knowing that we were talking about, death, that she didn't come back. So I think my grandfather knew I was gonna be with my girl who I'm with now. Forget that. Don't be with that one. Don't be with this one. Scaring almost everybody I would come bring around. And so me being there by myself, the more I stayed at the house by myself, like situations got worse. So now it's not only scaring my friends and people that I would bring around. Like I think he was trying to tell me something. There was another situation where my grandmother came back to visit, check up on the house, on me and everything, and she was moving a big saint. It was a Saint Mary that I got her. It was like 4 feet, 5 feet tall. Yeah, like a statue, and it's made out of copper. So my mother had a Saint Mary statue that she was moving from one room to another, and as she's carrying it, she trips over a nail. She falls on top of another nail. That nail digs into her knee. She falls on top of the statue, and the hands of the statue just stabs her in the eye, breaks her nose. It was a crazy situation. I was at school at the time, and she called me. She got hurt, rushed over, ended up going to the hospital. She was all bruised up. Crazy situation. And I think, he was trying to take my grandmother away. But that was pretty scary. Like, just coming home to that.